Rau đi đây cho về. Rồi, lấy chất xanh.
Darabshah has battled the busy streets of Mumbai all his life.
शांति बहुत ही होती है हमने शांति जो कही थी अरे बिल्डिंग पर बिल्डिंग बढ़ती जाए तो आवाज बहुत है जैसे गाय घोड़ा नो ले पहले उसका टूटू और कहीं नहीं.
Fortunately for Darabshah, he can always retreat into a special sanctuary amidst the hustle and bustle of Mumbai. It is here that he and his forefathers have lived and worked as pallbearers for the last 100 years. They belong to the minority Parsi community of India, known among other things for their unique death practices that take place upon these towers within the compound. Every day, names of the deceased are announced outside these gates. For the last 300 years, this is the place Parsis in Mumbai are laid to rest. Of the close to 90,000 Parsis who live in India today, majority call Mumbai their home. A close-knit group with a strong entrepreneurial and philanthropic tradition, few other communities have shaped the Mumbai landscape as much. Parsis excelled in shipbuilding, property development, and they opened the city's first cotton mills. Even today, slipping through the streets of Mumbai, you'll run into parks, hospitals, libraries, and schools built with money donated by them. Parsis practice Zoroastrianism, the oldest monotheistic religion that originated in Persia, predating Christianity and Islam. Today, through films like these, young Parsis learn about Prophet Zarathustra, who claimed the divine revelation of one true God, Ahura Mazda.
I am called Zarathustra. I bring the law of God and the knowledge of his laws.
They are taught that the elements, especially fire, are sacred. They also learn that their people fled Persia in the 8th century with the onset of Islam, and found sanctuary in India, where most settled and continued to practice their way of life. These ancient emigrants came to be known as Parsis, simply meaning people from Persia. As the population of Mumbai has swelled to 15 million, the Parsis have dwindled to just 70,000 due to strict laws on intermarriage. Declining numbers poses the greatest challenge. They run the grave danger of actually disappearing as a community in the not-too-distant future. This fate notwithstanding, the Parsi community continues to play an active role in business and continues to contribute to social welfare. It has made them more conscious of the need to preserve traditions like this initiation ceremony. These boys, like their forefathers, wear sacred threads to protect them from evil. They take vows in Farsi, the language of their ancestors, to have good thoughts, good words, and do good deeds. As much as Zoroastrianism is about how one should live, it's also about how one should die. Zoroastrians are known for the unusual way they dispose their dead. Cleansed corpses are laid exposed to the sun on a roofless platform 2 stories high called the Tower of Silence, to be devoured by vultures. Perched on the rim of the tower, the vultures wait to pounce upon the new guest, their next meal. They scrape and tear with their claws.
रोज टाइम से आवे पक्षी यानी मेरे टाइम से आवे पार पर बैठता हुआ जब अंडे पे लग जाए मानसों पछवाड़े जावी न उभा रही जाए कोई डरा कड्डे बदले नहीं पछवाड़े જ ઉભા રહી જાય કે અમારે હવે ખોરાક લાવ્યો છે કરીને મૂકી દીધું કે 10 મિનિટમાં બધું ખાલી 10 મિનિટમાં 8 મિનિટમાં બધું આખું બોડી ખાલી.
Although this practice is barbaric to some, Parsis choose this mode of disposal out of respect for the elements. To be cremated would defile fire. To be buried would contaminate earth. Unequal in life, for Parsis, all lie equal in death. But fate has intervened to challenge the Parsis. Like the community itself, the vultures so instrumental in helping dispose their dead are becoming extinct. A disease that causes their heads to droop, then die, has wiped out 95% of the vulture population in the Indian subcontinent.
बिल्डिंग वाले ने गोली से मार दिया होगा बाकी कितना बीमार पड़ा जख्मी हुआ और खलास हो गया था. जितना पक्षी मरा हुआ था तो वो खाद भर के मैंने खड्डे में डाल के सब अंदर डाल के मैंने जलाया था. अभी 5-6 वर्ष हो गया एकदम कम हो गया बिल्कुल नहीं है एक भी नहीं है. मैं खराब बोलता हूँ एक भी नहीं है वो एक भी पक्षी नहीं है गिद्दर एक भी नहीं है.
Earlier the vultures and all other animals which eat our body were at least seen once in a year on a roof or somewhere nearby. But nowadays we can't see any pakshi except the crows, bas, crows and these lovebirds and parrots. When I was small, we were seeing vultures over here, nearby. And now suddenly the vultures are not there, means something has happened to Dungarwadi, something.
Without the vultures, those who choose to be placed on the Towers of Silence will lie decomposing in the sun for days. This is untenable for many Parsis, especially Darabsha and his daughter Fazana, who wonder what will happen to the death traditions that have defined the Parsis for 2,000 years. As Parsis come to terms with the absence of vultures, they also have to contend with what this loss may mean to their way of death. Coming from a family of pallbearers, Darabsha's father, brother, and even his late wife spent their entire lives working on the Towers of Silence. For him, the disappearance of the vultures puts to question the fate of the rites which have defined most of his work and life. Now retired, he spends his days ruminating on how this knowledge is to be preserved.
The dead person is believed to be contaminated by evil, which is called nasu. The tapping of the nails 3 times is to signify the Trinity: good thoughts, good words, good deeds. And so the attendants draw a line with a metal nail by which it is believed evil will be trapped. A dog with his psychic powers absorbs the evil and is also able to sense that in fact the person is actually dead.
Parsis have invested in detailed educational films to record for posterity rites that will die with them. It is a way for non-Parsis to learn about these sacred traditions, since they are not allowed to see these ceremonies.
Judgment.
A young Darabsha plays himself in one of these films.
अभी समझो एक मैयत हुआ, बुलाया, गाड़ी लेके जाएगा और गाड़ी में 4 आदमी जाएगा, मैयत को गाड़ी में रख के यहाँ ले आएगा, फिर इसके बाद उसको नहलाता है, नहला धुला के कपड़ा मैयत का पहना के सफ़ेद, ऐसा सफ़ेद, फिर उस जगह पे नमाज पढ़ने को भेज जाता है। शाम को 3 बजे फिर मैयत उठाने के लिए ऊपर ले जाने के लिए आदमी लोग अंदर जाता है, 2 उसको ले जाता है, 4 आदमी खंडा मार के ऐसी नमाज पढ़ी ने बॉडी ऊपर ले जाए, बावड़ी ने अंदर मुक्की ले जाए बॉडी, तो बावड़ी भी इतनी हो कि गोल बावड़ी हो, ऊपर मुक्की है नीचे पाछो खारो है, बस मैं बीजो खाड़ो है मुझको, ये ऊपर ने पार पर मुक्की जाए हमें, कोई भी एक जगह वापर है, बॉडी लाया कोई हम ले जाए नंदर जाए, मुक्की है, हमारी फर्ज समझी ने करते हो तो, क्या चलो मरी गए लूँगा, इन्हें किया कम पे लग करवाने आप लोगों, काले आप ही मरवाना चाहिए।
Darabsha suffered a stroke 2 years ago, narrowly escaping death. Now, he passes his days quietly with his daughter in a house provided by the Parsi Community Council in recognition for years of service. He has yet to come to terms with the fact that he himself may not partake in rites he has performed all his life for so many others. Without the vultures, some Parsis are foregoing the practice of being left on the towers, choosing instead to be buried in specially sealed grounds. But there are those who have not given up hope. They believe the remaining vultures can still be found. Darabsha knows of such efforts at one place on the outskirts of Mumbai.
यहाँ आके क्या करे पक्षी भी, झाड़ पान बराबर होना मांगता है ना, झाड़ भी सब खलास हो गया पहले का, जब तक वो पहले का झाड़ बाढ़ था तब बराबर पक्षी बक्से आके बैठता था, तार का झाड़, तार का वो बड़ा पट्टा वाला आता है, तार का झाड़ वो में पक्षी ज़्यादा रहेगा क्योंकि वो बड़ी जगह है और जंगल है पूरा, तो वहाँ पक्षी लोग का आराम से आ सकेगा। मैं उधर जाकर अच्छी तरह से मरूँगा। तो ये बात विजिट पर्सन को कहना होता है जमीन में डाटी दो, नहीं डाटो तो पसी मैंने पसीने रखना होना चाहिए।
Vasai, a small town 50 kilometers north of Mumbai, is the site of a tower of silence proposed by Parsi elder Sachinwala. It will be the first to be built since 1939.
We cannot afford to forget or forgo this institution. We are not against competition of anybody. This is a mission, pious mission. It is a must.
Although the tower is now under construction, no one can say for sure if there are any vultures left to come.
Today they say you don't find vultures, but it is not so in our area because here there are lots of cattle farms and the location is such that urbanization cannot occur. All the 3 sides are with us. The one side complete forest, 2 sides belonging to my land only. Only one side is main road. So it can definitely work for 250-300 years.
Sachinwala has a theory on how the vultures will come to Vasai.
There are 10 life forces in the body, after which 9 goes away at the time of death. 1 remains there, which decomposes the body. And that particular life force emits precise signals from the head of the dead body. Such signals are caught by the transmitter within the vulture. And vulture comes in the direction of that signal, slowly, and they find the body.
He even has a video to prove it. But not everyone in the Parsi community is convinced there are vultures left. Many explore other alternatives that offer more long-term solutions. A recent invention using the sun instead of vultures has found acceptance in the Parsi community. The rays of the sun are collected on a large solar panel, then focused on the body lying on the Tower of Silence. The temperature of the solar panel is designed not to rise beyond 130 degrees, so that the body does not burn. Fire is a sacred element, and it cannot be defiled. The intense heat dries the body, and the liquids in the corpse flow out. Within 3 days, the body is dried into a skeleton. Today, 6 Indian cities apart from Mumbai have adopted the solar panels. 11 more are being implemented within Mumbai itself.
આ સોલર પાનું આપણને પસંદ નથી. સોલરથી શું બધું ચામડી બધું તતરી જાય ને પછી એમાંથી બધું પ્લાસ્ટિક ઉજળશે ને બધું ચિકાસ બધું ખડીને બધી જમીન ખરાબ કરી નાખે. મરવાનું તો છે યાર, પણ હજી નથી જવાનું. આ બાવળીમાં નહીં, બસ એને જ બાવળીમાં જવાનું છે.
As debates rage on in the Parsi community over the viability of various alternatives, Darabsha pins his hopes on the promise of vultures in Vasai. He prefers to take his chances there than consider ways that will compromise his beliefs. Darabsha and his daughter Fazana are off to Vasai.
મને પસંદ છે શાંતિ બધી રીતે બરોબર પક્ષી સાફ કરી નાખે સૂકવી નાખે હલકા.
પણ તમે નક્કી કહી શકો છો કે પક્ષી છે? આપણા મમ્મી ગુજરેલા તો કાગડાઓનું હતું, પેલું ગીધડાઓનું હતું કે સોલાનું હતું?
ગીધડાઓનું હતું. મારી માયના ટાઈમમાં મારા બાપના ટાઈમમાં ગીધડા જ હતા. પક્ષી હંમેશા જલ્દી ઠેકાને પાડી દે
ને બીજા દિવસે જાય તો ખાલી હોય, ખાલી હડ્ડીઓ દેખાય.
હા, હડ્ડીઓ દેખાય તો ખતમ.
જેમ જેમ નજદીક આવે તેમ તેમ મને ખુશાલી લાગે છે કે દિલને.
હા ભાઈ,
તારે ફ્યુચરમાં આવજો પછી, પણ મારવાના માટે નહીં.
ભાઈ તો બહુ આ છે યાર મારવાનું. પક્ષી નહીં તો ખલાસ થઈ ગઈ વાત. પક્ષી હોય તો જ બરાબર પાછી કહેવાય.
Special preparations are underway at Sachinwala's farm. Darabsha and Fazana make it just in time.
હજી બંધાઈ રહ્યું છે?
ઉપરના ભાગમાં આવ્યું કે બંધ થાય, હજુ કમ્પાઉન્ડ થઈ જાય. આગળનો ભાગ જાઓ, આગળ જઈને જાઓ.
ચલો
બરાબર ચામડી કાઢી.
બરાબર ચાલુ અહીંયા કઈ નાખ્યું છે?
કે એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ કરી રહેલા છે, પ્રયોગ કરેલા છે આપણે કે જે પક્ષી આવે છે કે તેમ આવવા જ જોઈએ.
Perhaps the vultures will come, but for now, only crows are seen.
આવશે બીજા બી આવશે, ચોક્કસ આવે ને.
જનરલી આ સાઈડેથી આવે છે. પહેલે રાઉન્ડ મારશે, આખા ઉપર રાઉન્ડ મારશે.
The team is ready to gather evidence.
કેસે જાઓ ઉપર આકાશમાં જાઓ. હંમેશા એમ જ લાઈફમાં કઈ બી ગીવ અપ નહીં કરવાનું, યાદ રાખજો.
Two hours in the sun, still no vultures in sight.
Somebody there.
One vulture we can see, yes, 100%.
અચ્છા ત્યાં જાઓ જાઓ
એ તો સમરી છે.
નહીં ત્યાં તો ચોક્કસ જ છે તો પેલું ચીજ જ છે સમરીને આઈબાગ
નહીં
ભરેલો
અહીંયા પટલું આવે જારું આવે અહીંયા પટલું આવે
અહીંયા બી એનો પીછાનો ભાગ આવે
આપણે તરત ઓળખી નાખીએ કારણ કે અહીંયા આપણે સ્થાનિક કહેવાય લોકલ માણસો આપણે બધું ખબર દૂરથી કહી દઈએ.
નક્કી કીધું.
દેખાય કે નહીં ફરજાને
હા પણ નક્કી કીધું.
ક્લિયરલી માલમ પડે છે ગરદન તો પતલીને
હા છે ને
ચકલી દેખાય છે
હવે આજે સફળ થયા ને આપણે પ્રયોગ કીધેલો તો અમે કીધું ને આવશે જો કેટલા બધા આકાશમાં જાવ તો ઉડી રહેલા છે હજી કે
હવે પછી આવતે તાર આપણે દૂરથી દેખાશે
છે ધેટ મીન્સ કે અહીંયા પક્ષીઓ
એ છે ને અહીંયા તો આટલા બધા કાર્કેસ પર છે
હવે તો ઇટ ઇઝ ગુડ
Today we are so happy. Very nice, very nice.
The sole vulture eyes the carcass. As evening descends, only Darabsha and Fazana remain, bound by the hope that more vultures may come, so that their time-honored rituals are safe.